Hi, I'm TJ, deep in the cam again. I want to talk to you about 3M Scotch-Brite, specifically surface conditioning discs. Now, many of you new to the industry, new to the business, ask us, why do we have so many options? The reason is we have so many customers demanding options from us. Now, the great people in Prairie du Chien who make this for us give us options like SL, SE, LGB, and SC. They give us grades like A very fine, medium, coarse, heavy duty, and super duty. Now, I want to focus you guys in on some starting points for this product portfolio, and I brought in application engineer Bridget Shannon here in the CAM Center. Hi Bridget, how are you doing?
Hi TJ, I'm well.
Now, give us some starting points and give us a reason for the colors.
Okay, a good starting point would be the Scotch-Brite Surface Conditioning line, short for SC. And it really depends on the substrate. They work really well on flat substrates, but they're really nice when you have curved surfaces because they allow you to get into these tight spaces due to the conformability of the web.
That's a small disc right there.
Yes. We have the most popular attachment form would be the TR Rolock form, and they range in different sizes from a 1-inch all the way to a 4-inch. We also have different densities for the backup pad. We have a really soft pad, and it goes into a really hard pad. Today we're going to be utilizing the medium grade on a medium backup pad. And as you can see, it's just going to twist on attachment.
Just like that.
Yes, and it continues to self-sharpen as it's running on the tool.
Okay, now there are so many different tools out there. You got 1/3 horsepower, 1/2 horsepower, 1 horsepower. Now the coated really likes the 1 horsepower. They really need to self-sharpen on that. But with Scotch-Brite, we're more concerned about speed because it's working with nylon. What kind of speed are we talking about? You got 12,000, you got 15,000, you got 25,000 RPM. What kind of speed are we talking about here?
Well, it's always best to run at the slower speed, and with the 3-inch that we're going to be running with today, it's going to run at the
15,000.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
And so you asked about the colors. The colors represent the grade range: A very fine, medium, and coarse grade. And they're really nice for a variety of substrates. They can be used on aluminum substrates, stainless steel, carbon steel, and also on brass.
Okay. Many people say that Scotch-Brite lasts a long time. Why is that?
Yeah, Scotch-Brite does last a long time, and it's due to the 3-dimensional web. But there are some things that you should be mindful of. It's the attachment type that makes a difference. If you're running in high-pressure applications off of an edge,
that's a sharp corner right there.
Yes, sometimes running on a sharp corner, you can see that tearing on the edge. And in cases like that, I would recommend switching to a softer backup pad.
Oh, like this 947 pad, it's pretty soft here.
Another case may be loading, the loading effect.
The nylon hasn't broken down, has it?
Right, and in that case, I would recommend switching to a harder backup pad.
Oh, like the space plate here will break that down. Okay.
And in extreme cases, you may even see some burning with the web not breaking down at all.
Oh, gotcha.
But the ideal breakdown of the pad would be good usage of the disc, breakdown of the web.
Well, that nylon's really worn down there.
Yes.
That's pretty even. They probably used a 917 pad with a foam insert here.
That pairs really well with that.
Now, I'd like to get some demos here. Why don't we get smocked up? Okay?
Sounds good.
All right, now that we got our PPE on, let's look at some of these demo pieces. Now, it looks like we have some 80 grit on some aluminum here. Now, traditionally, I would use a coated 120 grit or 150 grit on a random orbital sander. Now, you're thinking Scotch-Brite can do this?
Yeah, I'd recommend going with the coarse grade Scotch-Brite and the SC Rolock disc.
All right. How about you stand on your side and I'll stand on my side. Let's see who gets to remove the ink first, and let's see what kind of finish we got, all right?
All right, let's do it.
You ready to start?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Now, to remove that ink mark, I really kind of had to tip my sander. Now, I would have thought the coated abrasive would have been much more aggressive, but it looks like your finish is much, much smoother, whereas I got some microburrs here on that. What'd you think?
Yeah, what I like about it is it went really fast, it was pretty smooth, and yeah, it works great.
3-inch. Now, imagine if you had a 5 or 7-inch, you could really do some some work on here.
Exactly.
So now we've learned about the when to use a coarse disc. Now let's kind of look at this machined turboprop propeller that we got here, machined out of aluminum. And you can see these machine marks are pretty deep in there. But what do you suggest for something like this?
You know, TJ, for blending out machine marks like this, I'd recommend going with the surface conditioning A medium disc.
Okay, let's see what happens right here. Why don't you run that on that?
All right.
That blends that out pretty well. Makes it pretty smooth. Exactly what the customer is going to be looking for. All right, so we talked about application for the coarse. We've talked about the application for the medium. Now we got the A very fine here, obviously our last one. And this requires, is a piece of brass, a door fixture. And with the door fixture, they really want those to pop. They want it really shiny. We have a cast part here. It's got a lot of scratches in here, but we're going to need to brighten this up. Can you see, let's see what this A very fine does with this 15,000 RPM sander. Wow, that was already taking some of the nicks out and it really brightened that up. That looks pretty good. Yeah. So now we know what the coarse does, we know what the medium does, now we know what the place for the A very fine. Sounds good, thanks Bridget.
Yeah, my pleasure.
Bridget, thanks for joining us today. This was really, really helpful.
Thanks for having me, TJ, it was fun.
All right, are you ready to put these discs to work in your shop? Contact your 3M rep or go to 3m.com/buyabrasives to see if your preferred distributor has them in stock. Now let the sparks fly.